Good morning and good afternoon, depending where you might be. Welcome to the first of Ledgeview Partners three-part summer webinar series. Today we are focusing on making CRM sexy with InsideView CRM Intelligence. I'm Chad Collette, the Director of Marketing here at Ledgeview Partners, and I want to thank you for sharing a few minutes of your day with us. Over the next 20 to 30 minutes, you will learn from an expert how to rekindle your CRM user adoption, discover how account intelligence can help you uncover new opportunities before your competition, and deliver the most complete, accurate, and relevant prospect and customer information to increase your sales and marketing productivity. I'd like to start by answering probably the most asked question during any webinar. Is this webinar being recorded? The answer is definitely yes. As a follow-up to this webinar, you will receive an email from me with a link to be able to access this on demand. We encourage you to share this with others in your company and in your network. And to achieve the best audio quality, we have everyone in listen-only mode. But if you have a question at any time during the webinar, you can enter those via the question pane in your GoToWebinar control panel towards the bottom. And we'll address those at the end as we have time. Before I introduce our presenter, Josh Lingerfeld, I would like to take a minute to introduce our company, Ledgeview Partners. Now, I know on the webinar today we have several of our current customers attending who are very familiar with Ledgeview, and I want to thank you for your business. We also have a lot of people who may not know Ledgeview, so let me just give you the quick dime tour of who we are. The very best way to see who and what Ledgeview is all about 30 minutes from now, not right now, is to go to our homepage at ledgeviewpartners.com and watch our 90-second video. We had a ton of fun making that video, so we hope you enjoy it, and it really talks about who we are. At Ledgeview Partners, we focus on CRM. In fact, CRM is all we do. When Ledgeview started back in 2007, a conscious decision was made to be not all things to all companies, but be very, very good at one thing, and that's customer relationship management. Ledgeview, headquartered in Appleton, Wisconsin, is a Microsoft Dynamics CRM Gold Certified Partner and a Salesforce.com Cloud Alliance Partner. We're a member of the President's Club, Inner Circle, and Partner Advisory Council for Microsoft Dynamics. But more important than the accolades from Microsoft and Salesforce are the great relationships we have built with our loyal customers over the years. And that's what really drives Ledgeview Partners and makes us who we are today. And that's reflected in our 98% customer retention rate, which is our favorite stat by far. So now I'm excited to introduce our presenter, live from Seattle, Washington, a CRM intelligence expert and a great partner of ours, Josh Lingerfeld from InsideView. Hey Josh, welcome and thanks for joining us today.
Chad, thank you. I appreciate the warm introduction, and thanks to everyone at Ledgeview for allowing me the opportunity to present to your folks today, so I appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And so this presentation is making CRM sexy again. And so, you know, it often calls for a little audience participation, which I know is difficult in this setting as everyone's on mute, so I'll kind of maybe speak to that a little bit. But my name is Josh Lingerfeld. So our company is also a partner with Ledgeview, as well as Microsoft and Salesforce and most of the major CRM vendors in the marketplace. The company's based in San Francisco, California. Like Chad said, I think I have too. I'm in Seattle. It's my pleasure to present to all of you guys today. So I'm going to start by showing a few pictures here, and hopefully this will progress. There we go. So there we go. First picture. Let's look at those one more time. So the question here to the audience, and answer to yourselves, of course, would be which one of these two fruits would you find that you'd like to eat? I think the answer probably is clear for everyone, and it's a strawberry as opposed to the rotting apple. And there's a reason for that. It just looks more appealing. I mean, the fact of the matter is that both would provide nourishment for your body, and both would, you know, maybe fill you up or give you some necessary vitamins or what have you. But basically, the strawberry just looks a lot better, and so that's what you're going to go for. At least I think most people would. And CRM is the same way. you can be told all day that you need to eat CRM and use CRM, and it can be kind of put in front of you, and you can be told how great it is. But unless it's appealing to you, adoption may not be what you want it to be. And so what we're hoping to talk a little bit about today is, establishing customer intimacy within CRM systems. And so I'm going to talk about a few things. One is customer intimacy, and how you can obtain that, and why it's particularly important today, maybe more than ever, as the world's changed and sellers need to be as scalable as possible to meet their goals. We're also going to talk a little bit about what we mean by CRM intelligence. And so, CRM intelligence can do a number of things for you as an organization, but of course it can create intimacy as well. It's providing information and data about companies and people that you need to know. And then lastly, CRM adoption and just performance in general. And the idea is that, we'll talk a little bit about how using CRM intelligence can help build customer intimacy and then ultimately drive, performance, quota attainment, and those things that your salespeople obviously want to do, and thus will create greater CRM adoption for CRM. So the first thing here, and I think these two statistics that I'm about to roll out are a little bit true, regardless of geography or industry, no matter what you're selling or what you're doing. Cold calling today is maybe not completely dead, but it's on life support. Buyers today are very savvy at deflecting sellers. And so, you have to, when you get the opportunity to reach out to somebody, crafting a relevant and insightful message is extremely important, or they're just simply not going to talk to you. Also today, because of something called the World Wide Web, 70% of buyers decide without sales contact. So that can mean a few things, really. A lot of times a buyer will research a vendor, whether that's a product or service, online, and they'll do a lot of their own homework. Maybe they'll check out reviews of some sort, or even go to social settings to try to find answers about a particular product or service. And so, it changed the game a little bit with all the information that is available to buyers today. And, that is definitely something that we hope to address a little bit with CRM intelligence. And so this slide here is meant to represent kind of the old days, I guess you could say. So, business used to be done quite a bit on the golf course or at the 3-martini lunch kind of thing. Definitely a great way to build rapport with clients, and it still is, and I don't mean to disparage it in any way. I mean, that's great fun for all, and definitely a great way to establish that rapport and credibility with a customer. But it's simply not that scalable. It takes a lot of time. It's expensive. And in this world today, where everyone is very busy, you just don't have the time to even engage with a buyer in that fashion often. And so you have to look beyond being able to establish a face-to-face experience with everybody. And, of course, technology can help you solve that problem. And so it's not just the tools that, Ledgeview and InsideView can provide, but it's how you use those tools to create the intimacy that you're looking for in order to establish credibility and make a sale. And so trust is really the big thing that you need to establish. And you can do it, without the 3-martini lunch oftentimes these days. And so technology can help you establish that trust by giving you some facts and some background on people and companies that will help. And so, sales is still today a people business, and you always need to try to establish some sort of personal relationship, and there's definitely information available today that can help you do that. So we think that the return on investment of trust can really help can help people, create faster deals, increase sales cycle velocity, lower your cost, and hopefully get some higher margins. And so that's what the return on investment of trust is. And I hope that makes sense. But, when you're engaging with someone who's looking to buy your product or service, if they trust you, they believe what you're saying, you're just going to get further, and you're able to have a more meaningful conversation quicker, maybe not dance around things so much. And so, we hope that you can use our tool in CRM, whether that's Microsoft or Salesforce or whatever, to build that intimacy and ultimately trust. And so it really starts a lot of times just with the connection. You can reach out to a prospect who doesn't know you at all, but maybe there's a way where you can make a warmer connection. Perhaps maybe you guys went to the same college together. Maybe you have a colleague that you know through LinkedIn or Facebook or something like that you can either just name drop and reference, or perhaps reach out to for a warm introduction. Those things just help establish that kind of trust and that connection much simpler and much easier and much faster, which can obviously aid in just getting you a meeting. And that is really the first challenge. And so, it is important to be credible. And so credibility is something that's kind of born of honesty, integrity, and wisdom. And so, buyers can spot you if you're being fake from a million miles away, right? And so you do want to establish credibility, and you have to have facts to do that. And you have to have information in front of you about a company or a person that's going to help you engage in an honest way, and then demonstrate that you're looking to help them solve a particular problem. And if you can identify that problem beforehand without having to ask them, 9-block type questions to get some information out of them, then you can kind of anticipate what their needs are and, show up to them at the right time with the right solution. And when you do that, you're helping to further your credibility and build more trust. So here we kind of talk about caring. Nice picture, boy and his dog. So it's essential, I think, to see the world from your buyer's perspective. So you have to be a listener more than a talker. We all know that, and any sales training will tell you that. But really, we need to stop selling and start solving. And so when you connect with your buyer, you earn credibility. You show that you care and you take an interest in them. And you're there to help serve their needs, not just sell a product. And when you do that, you help them make them look like a hero internally, perhaps. And so you are really establishing a certain level of intimacy, and that's what we're hoping to help people do. And so this is kind of the overall customer intimacy, what it is. It's establishing a connection, maybe warmly, maybe through some past connection or past common interest. I mean, there's multiple ways that this can happen. But the internet and social media in particular are definitely full of these kind of insights that help you establish these types of connections, whatever they may be. I mean, you can definitely learn a bit about a person's background, discover common acquaintances and interests, and all that can help you establish a warm connection. And so, in order to do that, you might have to dive into news articles and annual reports and different things that are available so that you can show up at the right time with the right solution. And you're looking to solve a problem and anticipating a problem as opposed to just trying to pitch a product. So now I'm going to shift gears a little bit in the slides, but basically this slide here is meant to represent the internet, so hopefully that does a fair job. And there is just so much information available to a sales rep today. You can go out to Bing or Google and really spend, a good portion of your week there just doing research on companies, but it can get overwhelming, and of course there's other things to do. Your phone's ringing. You have to follow up on proposals and put pricing together and all this different stuff that a salesperson has to do. There's just not enough time. And so, 40% of reps' time is spent on research. If we can break that down a little bit and make it easier for them, that is really where CRM Intelligence comes in. And so at InsideView, we are a software company and a data company. And so we operate on 3 pillars, if you will, and those are data, insights, and connections. And so we have data in our database, and that is CRM Intelligence, kind of the easiest way to get your mind around it, intelligence about companies, putting that all right into your CRM system, whatever it may be. That's everything from, annual revenue to address to people and contacts. The insights pillar is really what helps with the research and helps you figure out what is the right time to engage. We're going to dump just a ton of news type information, all sorts of different sources from around the world and around the web, right into CRM systems relative to accounts. And then last pillar is connections, and I got another slide on this because it is a unique thing that we can do, but the idea is to leverage those connections, and it's not just LinkedIn, and it's not just Facebook or Outlook. You know, it's other things too, like reference customers or your past employment history. There's quite a few different types of connections that can be meaningful in a sales engagement. And so this is kind of a little bit about what we can do and what we mean by CRM Intelligence. So we definitely can bring in some basic company info and news alerts, things that are happening. We can help organizations subscribe to the right kind of news for them. And it's different for different industries and different geographies and all sorts of variations there as far as what might be interesting to a particular company or salesperson. And so our tool can definitely help you subscribe to what's most important to you, you know, provide you some financial information about companies, for instance, show you who you might be connected to socially or otherwise within a company just from within a CRM system. So whether it's Microsoft, Salesforce, or whatever, you know, your sales reps tend to spend their day, love it or hate it, right, in CRM and doing a lot of different things there. And so the idea is to put some information that's relevant to them about the accounts they care about that can help them hopefully be more effective in doing so, and all from within CRM. So there's another aspect to it too, where, you know, one thing I think sales reps hem and haw about a little bit relative to CRM systems is data entry. And so, you know, we do have the ability to kind of sync and update fields within CRM, and so here you can see on the screen that there's kind of how that would look and how that would work. But basically pull information from the InsideView database and dump that into your CRM system. So you might see a contact that is particularly interesting to you. Maybe you're engaged with a particular company trying to sell them something, but you're stalled, and you need to go hire, you need a new contact. You know, you can use InsideView to surface who that might be, and then put that information quickly into CRM. And so this is the private connections piece, and Chad, I know I've got like 12 minutes, so I'll try to cruise here, but you know, it's more that I think people today in the white-collar business world anyways, you know, think of LinkedIn as the end-all be-all, and LinkedIn is highly important, but there's other things as well. And so, you know, InsideView can help surface relationships beyond just LinkedIn, and so that your company would have its own private connections cloud and be able to kind of see who other people are connected to within different companies. And the idea is to create those reference or referral selling scenarios. And it might be, you know, you reach out to somebody in your company and say, hey, I see you're connected to so-and-so on LinkedIn. Could you introduce me? Or maybe it's just a name drop. But those kind of things can help establish that credibility that we talked about at the beginning, which ultimately can lead to having a buyer potentially trust you quicker. And so, you know, there's all kinds of ways to use connections, and that's important, and we can surface those relationships. But, you know, you have to be honest. You have to be respectful. You definitely want to reach out to people you know and do so in a positive way. And so they just have to make sure that you use the connections that we can surface the right way so that you can be credible. And then, you know, one of the worst things about engaging in a sales cycle for a potential buyer is when someone comes to you to present and they are not prepared and they don't know anything about your company or your business, what you do, you know, maybe how you performed in the last fiscal year, that sort of thing. And so these kind of CRM Intelligence, the tool that we provide, can help make sure that sales reps are prepared when they walk in the door, pick up the phone. And that is critical. And so that's kind of going back to the CRM Intelligence part. And so you only have one chance, oftentimes, in sales or in life to make a good first impression. And with CRM Intelligence, you know, right inside of CRM, you've got enough information and tools at your fingertips as a salesperson to hopefully, you know, depending on how you do it, make that positive first impression. And once that's done, everything else is easier because hopefully you're starting to build trust with a potential buyer, and it will reduce your sales cycle and help you win the deal. And so this is sort of the end here, or the last slide, Chad, but, CRM Intelligence is the new sexy. So these are kind of some of the things that we talked about in summation, and, how we can help find the right prospects at the right time, hopefully help make irresistible first impressions. You got to love that one. And ultimately, save time, increase productivity, and achieve faster wins by establishing trust. And so once again, these are kind of the pillars of CRM Intelligence. Data, got to have data. Got to have people, company names, and some basic stuff to seem relevant. But the insights that can be delivered to CRM are going to really, really help you as far as real time. Maybe a company just announced a leadership change and they've got a new VP of marketing. That's something that you want to know. And so putting that kind of information in real time can definitely help as far as research is concerned. And connections. I mean, what better way is there to get a foot in the door and establish some credibility and trust early? So Chad, without that, I guess without further ado, I am done with my slides. I hope I didn't go too long.
No, you're good, Josh. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So reminder, if you have any questions, now is a great time to go into the question pane in your GoToWebinar control panel and type those in. So put those in. We'll try to address them as we have time. We do have a few in here, Josh, if you wouldn't mind.
That'd be great.
One that came in, just kind of, where does the data come from?
So the data comes from multiple sources. I mean, one simple answer is that we buy a lot of it. So we buy data from other data providers, people that you've probably heard of, like Capital IQ or Net Prospects or Equifax. Some you haven't heard of and nobody has, but basically we buy a lot of it. We also have the ability to scrape the web. So for instance, go out to a company's About Us page, find the Management tab, and harvest the executive bio. We can do that. And then we do have a content team, so we actually have humans that are working to validate the information that we provide.
Okay. With the accounting, the contact information, is there a way within the accounts within CRM to have it automatically pulled in, or is that a manual process to update those?
So some of the contacts that are going to be rendered in the InsideView iframe in CRM are just going to be there for everyone. They're likely people that we've purchased data about, and so there's nothing there that anyone would ever have to do. They would just be represented and shown. And so there is another way to get contacts and leverage those connections piece that I talked about, and that's by essentially establishing a connection with InsideView to one's LinkedIn, Facebook, Outlook, those kind of things. And that is something that you have to set up and you have to tell it to do. For instance, many times I've been engaged with customers who are just very nervous about letting other people in their company see who they're connected to via Facebook. So you don't have to do that if you don't want to. It's kind of up to the user. We do have some filters in place where we only will show or surface relationships where like a person has a company name associated with their profile on Facebook or LinkedIn. But no, I mean, you don't have to do any of that if you're nervous about it, and some people are fine with doing LinkedIn but don't want to do Facebook, and I understand all that. And so it's definitely something that we can accommodate and work around.
Okay. Then another question came in, what versions of Microsoft Dynamics CRM does this work with?
So basically, online, CRM Online, CRM On-Premise 2011 and 2013. Partner hosted is fine. Those are on-premise, really. So that's all good. Microsoft does OEM part of InsideView inside of their CRM Online product. So a lot of CRM Online customers actually have access to kind of a stripped-down version of InsideView already. They may not know about it, but they do. They do have to install it, but it's something that's free and theirs to have.
Okay, great. All right, that seems to be all the questions we have time for today. So Josh, I want to thank you again for all the great information. I know I learned a few more things as well, and here at Ledgeview, we're current users of this great business tool, and as a marketing guy, I really, really love it. So I do want to remind everyone that we'll be sending you a recorded version of today's webinar to watch, so watch your email inbox for that. And I'd also like to encourage you to join us for part 2 and 3 of our summer webinar series. Next up, we're featuring email marketing and marketing automation for Microsoft Dynamics CRM with our partners at Click to Mention on July 30th. And third, but definitely not last on our list, is data integration for business with our friends at Scribe Software on August 13th. More information and links to register can be found at ledgewpartners.com under our news and events section. Finally, if you have any additional questions on InsideView or would like a full demo, need assistance, or are looking to expand your CRM functionality, just give us a call here at Ledgeview. Happy to help you out. The only thing better than long-term relationships is meeting someone new and starting a brand new one. So Josh, thank you again, and everybody in the call, thank you for joining us today, and have a fantastic day. Thank you.